shit.
You see me now?
Welcome to Max Afterburner, my friend. Today we're going to be breaking down Rooster and Maverick in a dogfight. This is going to be a Top Gun reaction, and I'm excited to bring it to you. It's going to be fun. You can hit me up on Instagram if you want, if you have any other ideas for videos. Would love to hear about it, or if you just want to say what's up, that'll work as well. If you haven't been here before, my name's Ryan. I'm a former F-15E combat fighter, Pod F-16 Thunderbird pilot. Before we get going, if you would, just download that like button for me. Maybe even subscribe. Every time you like and subscribe, Rooster has a fighting chance of shooting down Maverick. Here we go.
Say, Rooster, mind if I ask you a personal question?
Would it matter if I did?
So what's the story with you and Maverick? It seems like he's got you a little rattled.
It's none of your business.
So you may be having conversations like this if you're going cross country with your best friend. On the Thunderbirds, we would take 8 jets across the country and we'd be having some personal conversations like this. But getting prepared for a dogfight, you definitely wouldn't want to get your head out of the game. We do what's called protect your tactical bubble. And even after you're done briefing, you usually try not to talk about any subjects that aren't related to the mission you're going to fly, because you don't want to get in your head. And you know, we're all human. We all suffer from distraction. Even elite athletes will do the same thing prior to going out and playing a football game or a basketball game or whatever the case may be. Definitely the case that I noticed as well. If I found myself letting my mind drift into other areas besides the dogfight that I'm going to execute or the mission I'm going to execute, it affects your performance for sure. So come on guys, save this chat for the locker room.
Now where the hell is he?
Been here the whole time.
Holy shit.
You see me now? Come on, let's get it over with.
Fight's on!
So no one's ever gonna be able to sneak up that close to you. I would hope not. Boo. Anyway, someone could potentially be using terrain masking like a little bit, away from you. Let's say like 10, 15 miles that you might not see, and you might not have like an AWACS or some sort of asset to help you know they're there. But someone being that close to you, I just gotta ask, guys, are you looking around at all?
What is with these two?
All right, so they're in a scissors right now, so it's a good depiction of that. However, you're never gonna be that close in a scissors. And this is a rolling scissors, where essentially you're just trading sides, trying to get behind the other jet. Now, probably I would say 1,000 feet, and you're not gonna get closer than 500 feet due to some training rules that you have just to keep from a midair collision happening. But at the end of the day, they're trying to represent that scissors, but it wouldn't be that close.
All right, you put us here. How are you gonna get yourself out?
You can bail out anytime.
How low you wanna go, Rooster?
I can go as low as you, sir, and that's saying something.
What's past is past, for both of us.
You'd like to believe that, wouldn't you?
Hard deck is 5,000 feet, fellas. You are running out of room.
Altitude.
Your strategy is about to run us into the ground. What's your move?
Altitude. Altitude. Altitude.
All right, so they're playing chicken there. Something that obviously is good for the movie, but there are personality conflicts in fighter squadrons, believe it or not, right? You get like 25 type A personalities together and there's personality problems? Right, say it ain't so. So what I noticed a lot are there's the people that are trying to get promoted. There's that group of people, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with wanting to get promoted, but there's the people that will kind of step on other people to try to get there. Then there's people that are just totally in love with aviation. They love flying, they love serving their country. Then there's the people that are trying to just kind of figure it out, or maybe you're struggling a little bit with where they fit in.
Right shoulder!
It's just like anywhere else. There's gonna be all different walks of life. So what's gonna happen from that is there's gonna be people that butt heads, right? There's gonna be personality conflicts. I mean, literally, you could probably make one of the best reality TV shows if you just hung around a fighter squadron for a couple months, but you would try to work this kind of thing out in other ways. And we do things called roll calls, where you'll get everybody together, and sometimes that turns into, people working out personality conflicts. I might just leave it at that. For me personally, I just tried to meet things head on. So if I had an issue with somebody, I would tell them straight to their face and hope that it didn't manifest itself in other ways. But yeah, anything can happen. And a lot of the roll calls, you know, you would see people wrestling with each other, people just duking things out, which I thought was healthy. I think it's okay to relieve that tension because you don't want it to manifest airborne or get in the way when you're on a deployment or you're out there depending on each other for your lives. So ultimately you would avoid something like this, but what they're doing is they're highlighting the metaphor that there are a lot of different personality conflicts in fighter squadrons. Believe it or not.
Altitude. 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 Pull up, pull up. Pull up, pull up. Pull up, pull up.
Now you got it. Don't think, just do.
Come on, Rooster, you got him. Drop down and take the shot.
It's too low. Too late. Had your chance.
So there it is, Maverick's Cobra maneuver. Pugachev technically created that maneuver, but he was Maverick's grandfather from what I hear. So it's now Maverick's Cobra maneuver. Help me spread it around.
That's a kill. Knocked it off.
I've actually seen an F-18 do something like this. It wasn't as clean of a Cobra maneuver as that. That's more of like what an F-22 Cobra maneuver would look like. But dogfighting F-18s off the coast of North Carolina, I got to see a lot of use of the vertical, where F-18s could essentially just go up, and then I would see them roll out and then go up again. And when you're in a very heavy Strike Eagle, she's a heavy girl, she's a bigger girl, sometimes she would not do that. She would have one move up, and that was maximum. So seeing the F-18 maneuver in the vertical is something I've seen firsthand, and I would much rather dogfight an F-18 in a Viper than an F-15E, but unfortunately most of my dogfights were in an F-15E, and impressive seeing the F-18 do that. But it's not gonna do as clean of a Cobra maneuver as that.
Damn it. Same old Rooster.
Go see Hondo about your push-ups.
All right, that's enough.
Talk to me, Bob.
We are 12 seconds late on target. We gotta move. We gotta move.
Copy. Try to stay with me.
Huh? Wait, who's that?
Blue team, you've been spotted.
Shit, it's Maverick.
What the hell is he doing here?
I'm a bandit on course to intercept. Blue team.
All right, so they're going through the mission now, and this is essentially air interdiction or strategic attack training, surface attack training. There's a lot of different words for it. Now, at the end of the day, it comes down to being able to put on a hat for an air-to-ground mission. And this is what we did a lot in the F-15E, is you're going in to drop bombs on target, and then you're gonna fight your way in and then fight your way out. So being able to do that with one platform, with one aircraft, it's what's called a force multiplier, which means you're kind of taking the place of a lot of different jets. So the fact that Maverick's up there, that shouldn't be a surprise to them. They should be like, yeah, you know, we're gonna fight our way into this contested target area. We're gonna drop our bombs on target. We're gonna be successful. And then we're gonna fight our way out, baby. Because that's what you do when you're a multi-role fighter. So, yeah, come on guys, get with it. Don't be so surprised that Maverick's there.
Blue team, what are you gonna do?
He's 20 miles left. 10 o'clock. 700 knots closure.
Your call. What do you want to do?
Continue. We're close. Stay on target.
He's swinging around to the north. Stand by for pop-up.
Be ready on that laser, Bob.
Copy. I'm on it.
Blue team, bandit is still closing.
Popping now. Talk to me, Bob. Where's Maverick? He's 5 miles out. He's coming fast.
So if you're in a buddy lays, you're not gonna be quite that close. I mean, they're within like a couple 100 feet of each other. So this is essentially like a Thunderbird formation buddy lays is what I would call this. So at the end of the day, you'd want, you know, probably 1.5 miles or so if someone's gonna buddy lays for you. Now there's exceptions to this, but it also gives you a tactical advantage if you're gonna get into a shooting match with a bandit. You don't wanna be that close to each other. Essentially, if you are, the bandit can target you with one radar. You wanna be spread out in a tactical formation where you have, you know, probably 2 to 3 miles, ideally, if you're gonna commit on some bandits.
Target's in sight.
Where's my laser, Bob? Did I? It's no good. Sorry, I can't get it locked. We're out of time. I'm dropping blind. Damn it, missed.
So you wouldn't drop blind, you would essentially go to a CCIP mode, which would give you a pepper, a little target that you could put on the target. It wouldn't just be your, your flight path vector, which is the FPV, which you saw. You wouldn't just drop with that. You would go to a mode where you would have basically a line that would show a continually computed impact point. That's what CCIP stands for, and that's gonna give you way better shot than just, you know, blindly releasing those bombs.
That's Tone.
Maverick's got missile lock on us.
Shit, we're dead.
Blue team, that's a fail. Level out, Coyote. Coyote, you copy?
So there's a lot of times in fighter aviation where you're gonna find yourself graying out, and that's what's happening to Coyote right now. Your vision starts to get smaller and smaller and smaller until it gets to a soda straw, and then it goes, disappears, and that's when you black out from a G-LOC. A G loss of consciousness is what that is called, and it's how a lot of aviators have met their end, unfortunately. Now, what's happened to Coyote here, it's due to a bad G strain, because you can tell when he's off target, and he's got the bug eyes wide open, he's breathing rapidly, he's not staying on top of his G strain. So what you'd want to do is get into a solid G strain, and you would brief this. So I would brief my formation. I'd be like, look, we're gonna drop these bombs, and we're gonna have been maybe, you know, doing low level for about 10 minutes prior. You might not be thinking of G strain, so drop the bombs, pull your 6G safe escape maneuver, whatever the case is, and I want you to get on your G strain here. Remember, G strain, because I want you alert and aware of other threats that might be in the area, and I don't want you to pass out.
Coyote, come in. Coyote, level wings. Oh my God, he's in G-LOC.
Coyote.
He's gonna burn in.
I'm going after him. Come on, give me tone, give me tone, give me tone. Step out of it, Coyote.
And this is just a sick feeling if you see one of your flight mates who's clearly unconscious. Unfortunately, I have seen situations like this before that did not turn out well. But when you see this happen to one of your flight mates, it's a helpless feeling, obviously, because how are you gonna get their jet to recover? You know, it's just gonna be luck at this point, hoping that they recover prior. Now, I've thought of different scenarios before where, like, hey, maybe I could, like, you know, somehow get behind that jet, somehow, like, tap a wing with my wing and get it to be right side up and recover from the ground. Your mind goes to some interesting places when you're thinking about saving someone in your formation, and really nothing is off limits.
Out of it, Coyote.
Come on.
I know Maverick's trying to use the tone to wake him up, but man, at the end of the day, you know, it's the blood getting back into the brain and getting you back conscious. So yeah, the tone, yeah, sure, why not? Try it, right? It's at least something. But G loss of consciousness, I mean, sometimes it can take a minute or more for someone to come back to reality.
Come on, Coyote, come on. Come on!
Coyote! Coyote! Coyote!
Coyote, you okay? You okay?
I'm okay. I'm good.
Good, good. That's enough for today.
That was close.
Too close.
Yeah, so that just makes me, even watching this, it makes like a pit form in my stomach just because it's such a helpless feeling. But yeah, if you do have some sort of G-LOC, or even if you're graying out a lot, that can happen. Certain missions, certain days are better than others. Your hydration is better. Maybe you've had too much caffeine. There's so many things that can apply. I mean, if you don't sleep well, you're worse at pulling Gs. If you haven't been working out a lot lately, that can affect your G tolerance as well. But yeah, if I ever had a student that went into a state where they were just, something wasn't right, so maybe they weren't pulling the right amount of Gs, or maybe I just kind of got the feeling that today wasn't a good day, you're gonna go home. And especially after something like this, man, it's just great that Coyote made it out. And when this happens to pilots in the real world, it's just one of those like, whew, that was a close call. Let's call it a day. Let's wrap it up. We'll come back and try this again tomorrow.
Close. Bird strike! Bird strike!
Bird strike!
Left engine's on fire!
Climbing! Throttling back. Shutting off fuel to left engine. Extinguishing fire.
Right engine is out.
It's still spinning. Try to restart it.
Phoenix, it's on fire! Don't start!
All right, so I like her going through all these emergency procedures. The thing with the F-15E that we would try to remember is like, hey, you don't need to rush these things because the worst case scenario is you flip a switch that you shouldn't have flipped. And when you're shutting off, fuel sources, when you're discharging different types of fire extinguisher equipment, you can't take it back. So what she did there with climbing up is super solid. Like, we call that a zoom maneuver, especially if you lost both engines. You're gonna wanna zoom for sure, just to get more distance away from the ground prior to an ejection. But at this point, maybe slow down, calm, cool, and collected. You've got two engines, you're not in a Viper. I had to deal with that single engine anxiety. And so the fact that you've got two engines, you can just kind of calm down, call it smoke-a-lucky, just chill for a second, analyze the situation.
Throttling up.
Oh my god.
We're on fire! We're on fire!
Damn it!
Engine fire right.
Extinguishing right engine.
Phoenix, Bob, punch out! Punch out!
Warning lights everywhere! Hydraulic failure!
Flight control.
I can't control it.
We're going down, Phoenix! We're going in! We're going in!
You can't save it! Eject! Eject!
Eject, eject, eject.
Altitude. Altitude.
All right, so at that point, they both did single ejections, but what you would do in any situation like that, flying in combat or flying with another aviator who has experience with ejection seats, is you would have the ejection seat selector set to where you could both punch out at the same time. Now, I'm not exactly familiar with the F-18, but I know in the F-15E, we had a selector that was both. So I would always do that if I was flying with a Wizzo who was qualified in that fighter aircraft. I would make sure that if they pulled the handle, that we would both go out at the same time. That's just in case, someone was incapacitated or something like that. And what those seats do is they self-deconflict. In modern fighter jets, they're not gonna come out at the exact same time and cause a conflict. One is gonna go first. So the back seat's gonna go probably really like a quarter of a second prior to the front seat, since they're gonna launch out so fast. Intense scenario, definitely realistic that, one engine going down can make the other one go down as well. Can definitely burn through and put you in a bad situation, but luckily they made it out and they lived to play another day. Thanks so much for being here, guys. It means a lot. If you like this video, let me know in the comments below. Hit me up on Instagram. Even if you just want to say hello, I would love to hear from you. Before you get going though, please go ahead and dominate that like button for me, maybe even subscribe. Every time you dominate that like button, a pilot somewhere gets their wings. Thanks so much for being here. Most of all, have a great day.